It all started with a simple idea, a fleeting daydream that took root and refused to let go. Sometimes, the most transformative journeys begin with just a single spark of inspiration. I would gaze out at my plain, uninspired backyard, seeing only a patch of grass bordered by a tired old fence. But in my mind, I could already picture something more, a space alive with possibility, color, and purpose. I imagined stepping outside to pick crisp lettuce for a salad, or gathering a handful of fragrant herbs to toss into a simmering pot. I pictured the garden buzzing with bees, butterflies flitting from flower to flower, and the air filled with the earthy scent of growing things. This dream was never just about growing vegetables. It was about reclaiming a forgotten, neglected patch of earth and turning it into a sanctuary, a place where I could unwind, reconnect with nature, and create something beautiful and nourishing. The idea felt daunting at first. I worried about the time, the effort, and whether I could really pull it off. But the vision of a thriving, productive garden was more powerful than my doubts. I found myself sketching plans, reading gardening books, and watching videos late into the night. I longed for the snap of a fresh green bean, the juicy burst of a sun-warmed tomato, and the intoxicating aroma of basil and mint just steps from my kitchen door. The more I imagined it, the more determined I became to make it real. So, I started planning, measuring, researching, and dreaming even bigger. With a solid plan in hand and a willingness to get my hands dirty, I knew that even the most ordinary patch of grass could be transformed. It would take hard work, but every shovel of soil brought me closer to the garden I envisioned. The journey from a dull, lifeless lawn to a lush, thriving garden is more than just a physical transformation. It's a journey of growth for the gardener too. Each new leaf and blossom is a reward for patience and persistence. Along the way, I learned to slow down and observe, to notice the subtle changes, the challenges, and the small victories. Gardening teaches you patience, resilience, and how to adapt when nature throws you a curveball. Every day brought something new to celebrate, a tiny sprout breaking through the soil, the first flower opening, or the promise of fruit beginning to form. These small moments became the highlights of my days. I decided to document every step of this transformation, not just for myself, but to inspire others. I wanted to show that with a bit of effort and a lot of heart, anyone can create something truly special in just 6 months. You don't need to be an expert, or have a so-called green thumb. All it takes is a willingness to try, to learn from mistakes, and to embrace the messiness of the process. Gardening is for everyone, no matter your age or experience. This is the story of how my empty backyard was transformed into a vibrant, productive raised bed garden, a true oasis that nourishes both body and soul. And if I can do it, so can you. The first crucial step was choosing the right location. Vegetables are solar-powered. They need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight. I spent days watching the sun's path, noting where shadows fell and where the light lingered. I found a sunny, flat spot along the back fence. Perfect for my garden beds. Convenience mattered too. I made sure it was close to a water source. I wanted the garden on my daily path so I'd notice problems early. I also left room for future expansion. Maybe more beds, or a compost bin. With stakes and string, I marked out the space. Suddenly, the dream felt real and achievable. The foundation was set. The right spot would make all the difference. Planning ahead meant fewer headaches later. Now, it was time to build. With the location set, I set out to build raised beds from cedar, an ideal wood for gardening because it's naturally rot-resistant and chemical-free. Cedar not only lasts for years outdoors, but it also looks beautiful and blends seamlessly into the garden landscape. I carefully stacked 2x6 boards, creating beds about 11 inches deep. This depth gives plant roots plenty of room to stretch out and grow strong, which is especially important for vegetables and flowers that need space to thrive. The assembly process was straightforward. Just cut the boards to size, screw them together, and set the sturdy frames in place. It's a simple DIY project that anyone can tackle with basic tools and a little patience. Before adding any soil, I lined the bottoms of the beds with thick cardboard. This layer helps block out weeds from below, and, as it breaks down, it feeds the soil with organic matter, encouraging earthworms and beneficial microbes. But the most important part of any raised bed isn't the wood or the shape, it's the soil itself. Healthy living soil is the foundation of a productive garden. Instead of using cheap bag topsoil, I made my own custom blend. 1/3 compost for nutrients, 1/3 peat moss for moisture retention, and 1/3 coarse vermiculite for drainage and aeration. This mix creates a light, fluffy, and fertile environment for roots. This living soil is teeming with organic matter, earthworms, and beneficial microbes. It's rich, well-draining, and full of life, exactly what plants need to flourish. Mixing and shoveling all that soil is hard work, but it's truly the best investment you can make for a thriving, healthy garden. The effort now pays off all season long. When the beds were finally filled, they looked like blank canvases, fresh, untouched, and full of potential, just waiting for seeds and seedlings. Good soil is the heart and soul of any garden. It's where all the magic begins, supporting every plant from root to leaf. With the structure in place and the soil ready, the real fun could finally begin. I could already imagine the lush growth and vibrant colors to come. The stage was perfectly set for planting, and I couldn't wait to get started. My backyard was about to transform from a plain patch of grass into a thriving, beautiful garden oasis. With the garden beds finally prepared and the soil rich and ready, it was time for one of my favorite parts of gardening, choosing the plants that would fill this space with life and color. I started by thinking about what my family enjoys eating most, focusing on vegetables that would end up on our dinner table, and flowers that would help support the bees, butterflies, and other pollinators that make a garden thrive. Tomatoes were an absolute must, heirloom varieties for their rich flavor and beautiful colors, perfect for slicing onto sandwiches, and sweet cherry tomatoes for snacking right off the vine. I added sweet bell peppers for crunch and color, a couple of jalapenos for a little heat, and of course, productive zucchini and squash, which always seem to multiply overnight in the summer. To fill out the beds, I chose leafy greens like tender lettuce and vibrant Swiss chard, which are both easy to grow and harvest. I also tucked in bush beans, which are not only simple to care for but also help enrich the soil with nitrogen. Flowers weren't just an afterthought. I made sure to interplant marigolds to help deter pests naturally, and added zinnias and cosmos for their bright blooms, which attract pollinators and beneficial insects all season long. Along the edges, I planted herbs like basil, rosemary, and thyme. Not only do they add wonderful fragrance and flavor to our meals, but their scents can also help keep unwanted bugs away from the veggies. This thoughtful mix of vegetables, flowers, and herbs created a resilient, beautiful garden ecosystem, one that would be both productive and a joy to look at every day. By practicing companion planting, I made sure that every plant could support its neighbors, whether by repelling pests, attracting pollinators, or improving the soil. With my planting plan mapped out, I felt confident that this diverse mix would create a thriving, harmonious space, full of life and color. Every plant had a specific purpose, whether it was to feed us, support the ecosystem, or simply add beauty to the garden. I could already imagine how lush and vibrant the beds would look in a few weeks, overflowing with healthy vegetables, cheerful flowers, and aromatic herbs. Now with everything chosen and ready, it was finally time to bring this vision to life and start planting my green team. Planting day brought the garden to life. I started with tomatoes, planting them deep for strong roots. Peppers and zucchini went in next, spaced for airflow and growth. Flowers and herbs filled the gaps, marigolds around tomatoes, zinnias and cosmos between rows. I direct sowed beans and lettuce, using string lines for neat rows. After a thorough watering, the beds were dotted with green and promise. Mixing flowers and veggies set the stage for a healthy ecosystem. The garden was officially underway. The symphony had begun. The first weeks were filled with anticipation. Beans and lettuce sprouted first, followed by zinnias and cosmos. Tomatoes and peppers settled in and started to grow. By midsummer, the garden was unrecognizable, lush, overflowing, and buzzing with life. Tomato vines towered, zucchini leaves shaded the ground, and flowers attracted pollinators. The transformation was stunning, a once boring lawn now a vibrant, three-dimensional space. Every evening, I harvested baskets of fresh food for dinner. The flavors were unbeatable. Salads, sauces, and grilled veggies straight from the garden. The garden became a daily source of abundance and joy. It was a complete sensory experience. 6 months turned a simple backyard into a productive, beautiful extension of my home. The growth was truly epic. No garden is without challenges. Aphids attacked my peppers, but a simple soap spray solved the problem. A heat wave hit, wilting plants in the afternoon sun. I watered deeply in the mornings and mulched with straw to keep soil cool and moist. The plants bounced back quickly. I made rookie mistakes, like planting too much zucchini. Soon I was giving it away by the bagful. Each challenge taught me something new: act fast, plan for yield, and work with nature. Problems weren't failures, they were lessons. I learned to spot trouble early and adapt. Gardening is about observation and quick response. Every setback made the harvest more rewarding. The garden became a classroom. Each solved problem built my confidence. The final harvest felt truly earned. The journey was as valuable as the results. As autumn arrived, I reflected on the transformation. The garden changed how I used my backyard. It became a destination, not just a patch of grass. Daily rituals, morning walks, evening watering, grounded me in the rhythms of the season. The garden fed my body, mind, and spirit. It sparked conversations with neighbors and friends, creating new connections. Sharing the harvest was a joy. The garden brought wildlife, beauty, and purpose to my yard. It became a living, breathing ecosystem. My backyard was no longer empty. It was alive. The impact was far greater than I imagined. A simple idea had changed everything. If you're inspired to start your own garden, my advice is simple: just begin. Don't worry about knowing everything. Every gardener starts as a beginner. Start small. A single raised bed is manageable and productive. Focus on sun and soil. Pick the sunniest spot and invest in good soil. Quality soil solves most problems before they start. Choose easy, rewarding crops like beans, lettuce, cherry tomatoes, and zucchini. Add flowers like marigolds and zinnias for beauty and pollinators. Have fun, experiment, and don't fear mistakes. Every setback is a lesson. The goal isn't perfection, but connection. Get your hands dirty, watch seeds grow, and taste the results. The process is the reward. Go outside, pick a spot, and start your own epic growth story. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish in one season. Your backyard oasis is waiting.